As a chef and restaurateur, I know what a happy dining room feels like. And it's gotta be the same when I'm cooking for friends at home. A light cucumber salad before some creamy polenta and a hearty meatballs will do the trick tonight. I've invited over James Axe, the general manager of my restaurant, Luca, and Dr. Comilla Sasson, an ER doctor here in Denver. Good thing she was here, by the way, because I had a little accident slicing roast beef at French 75 last night. We're making an easy-to-put-together but still special meal where everyone leaves my home full of life and buzzed on happiness. Comilla, we both have kids, and James, maybe you have kids we don't know about. I don't know.
Maybe.
The ones that you want to take credit for?
There you
right?
go, yeah.
Okay, yeah, got it. Okay.
So I wanted to do some dishes that were like elegant, a little bit simple to make though. Something, because we're both so busy, everybody's busy. So something that you could do and really have it be healthy and fun and feel a little bit fancy. So I'm gonna do a salad that I love to do, and it's a cucumber, fennel, and red onion salad. Really simple. You can make it ahead and you can even marinate. So it's one of my favorite salads. I'm gonna see if my finger actually works, but
Careful.
yeah.
But look at that bandage job, isn't that awesome?
No, the bandage is awesome.
It's like you've done it before.
Yes. 17 years or so,
Oh,
you know.
good Lord.
Not too bad, yeah. So you did say simple and easy, because I'll be honest, like, I work a lot. And I have a 5 and a 6-year-old, and so the idea of having to come home and make dinner for them is hard. So this has got to be easy, hopefully.
This is easy. I mean, this is just some cutting and slicing. The meatballs are a little bit of work, but those are something you could kind of do on your day off and then have them in the fridge and do a simple reheat. So a lot of things are, you want to see if you can do things ahead of time to make it easy. I don't know, do you ever use fennel? I know James loves
I
fennel.
personally love fennel. Fennel is one of my favorites.
To be honest, it's probably not on my go-to list of, it's a vegetable, right?
Yeah.
Fruit vegetable,
Okay, yeah.
It's
Okay,
a vegetable.
Nice,
Okay,
nice
awesome.
anise flavor. Really
They didn't
nice.
teach me that in med school about vegetables.
No?
I'm sorry. No.
That's weird.
To me, it's like really light. It's so like anise licorice, right?
Yeah.
So I won't go that heavy on it. I'm just gonna use the half. And then I love raw red onion, and since Jacqueline's not here, I get to use it because Jacqueline does not love raw red onions, my wife.
Oh. It's nice too because it adds some color too, right?
Yeah. We don't always cook for pretty, but it does help.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of that. I'm gonna throw a touch of dill in.
Love dill also.
And now I'm gonna make a simple vinaigrette. And one of the things when I make a vinaigrette at home, I usually make a lot of it. And then that way I always just have a nice homemade vinaigrette. So really simple lemon vinaigrette. Little Dijon mustard. Like garlic, right? Everyone likes
Yeah.
garlic. So a little raw garlic. Some lemon juice. I'm gonna use like a tablespoon of lemon juice. And then I'm using a really nice Tuscan extra virgin olive oil. And this is where you really want your vinaigrette to shine, right? The oil is the whole flavor in it.
And the cool thing is that I actually have all of these things in my refrigerator, like right now.
Right. I mean,
I guess I've never even thought of it to just make my own vinaigrette. That's awesome.
and it's just as simple. I mean, lemon juice, just keep it really simple. A lot of times if I don't have lemon juice or don't feel like squeezing lemons, just red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, whatever. Big pinch of salt. Actually, 2 pinches of salt. Some fresh cracked black pepper. And then it's just this simple, right? And you can see it starts to like emulsify.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I usually make this, quite honestly, I get a leftover like salad dressing bottle once I finish that, and then I just keep making it in the salad bottle.
So how long does it stay like fresh or usable in your fridge?
Weeks. I don't
Really?
even refrigerate it. There's nothing in here that needs to be refrigerated.
Wow. That's like so fancy though.
Yeah,
I just feel fancy.
I would think with the
It does
lemon
feel
juice and
fancy.
everything it would need to be. That's really nice.
Yeah.
So I just want to
More salt?
No, it needs more lemon juice. Because I want the lemon and the fennel really go well together.
So we did, for the first time with our kids, decide, because of the pandemic, decide to have a garden outside. So we are growing our own herbs now, which is kind of fun.
So you can do 90% of this what you have growing in your backyard, essentially.
Isn't that so fun?
That's awesome.
I know, like the kids are gonna love that, seriously.
No, they're not.
They're not? Wait, my 5 and 6-year-olds still like me though, that's different, right? Yeah.
No, they're, that first time you're gonna ask them to turn over a bed or pull a weed.
Well, so right now they pull weeds for like 30 cents a weed. Yeah,
Oh,
which is
wow.
pretty good. Yeah, pretty good, I thought.
You'll,
Like,
you'll get up to
literally, we have
$10 a weed and they're still gonna say no because they hate it.
It's like you've done this before or something.
Right? Like, no, like,
No, there is no better time than hanging out outside,
Yeah.
nice day, and having them contribute and be part of it. Especially like that first time you eat the tomatoes or a cucumber or something out of your garden. So just this simple salad. I'm gonna put a little bit of cotija cheese on it because I love cheese. And I'm trying to think, feta would work really well on this. But cotija is just so different, and I know that this is kind of like a Greek salad, but I think a little crumble of cotija will give it that bite, that sharpness, and a little bit of richness to it. And to me, this is like the perfect salad. Super healthy, summery, fun, and really good for you. James, you were super nice enough to bring over a Riesling for us to try with this, and I think it's perfect. It's almost like you knew what I was gonna make.
Maybe not. So we got a Trimbach Riesling here, Alsace Riesling. Subtle, dry, a little bit of fruitiness coming through. I think with the cucumber, the fennel, the cotija would be a really nice pairing here.
Well, you guys give it a try. Swirl that wine. Take a bite.
oh, see, this is good. A lot of the Rieslings I find too sweet. So I think this is like a nice mixture.
Rieslings, I think, got a bad rap
Yeah.
very early on when they came to America as being these fruity, sweet wines.
Right.
When really, if you get a great Riesling from Alsace in France, or it's clean, it's crisp. It's so misunderstood in America, I think.
It absolutely is, and there's still a nice fruit structure there. It's a lot more subtle, but there's still a nice fruity character. That you know, it's true to all Rieslings, but the dry side, I think it welcomes more food, and it's just a nice, yeah.
I feel like you can actually taste your food better that way.
I
Right?
agree,
It's not overpowered.
and when you get them this way, it's not overly oaky, it's not overly sweet. It just allows everything to complement each other.
You sound like you know what you're doing.
No, I have no idea.
I didn't think so.
You know, I think the thing that's so great about it is that it doesn't feel heavy, right? It feels so light and fresh. And that vinaigrette is amazing. Like,
Well,
I cannot believe I could make that. Like, I don't have to go to your house to do it. Like,
In just a few
I
seconds
can
still.
actually,
Just whisk
I
it on
know,
up.
right? Like, but that's what you're saying. Like, when you're talking about like fancy, you know, I think it doesn't always. I always think that it has to take hours to do.
Right.
But that's not really the case. Like, that is amazing.
I really love the cotija cheese. The dryness it brings to the cucumber and everything, just being a juicy bite, and the cotija is just really nice and dryness to the flavor. Really enjoy it. And yeah, not to brag, the wine's a great pairing as well.
No, please, Brad. For our entree tonight, I'm gonna make meatballs. Everyone always asks, how do you make good meatballs? Meatballs are super easy. The most important step in meatballs is to take some fresh white bread and soak it in milk. So this makes like a panada, is what they call it. And that helps to fill the meatballs also, like the Italians did this to stretch out the meat, right? Because they always had stale or leftover bread. And this helps to just give it a good texture.
Does it matter like what kind of bread you use?
Old bread, I personally like white bread. Like cheap white bread with the crust cut off is my favorite thing to use because it really, like you see, I just put all that milk in there and it almost absorbed it all.
We got a lot of that in my house.
You can use stale bread too, and so put a little extra milk in it. So while I'm gonna let that soak, I'm gonna get some onions sweated. So my meatballs have no garlic in them, They're super simple, and I'm gonna sweat those over high heat.
Wait, sweat?
Yes, just basically I'm just gonna let them get a little tender. You just want the water to come out of them and get a little tender.
Okay.
And what does that do for the meatball?
It just adds that sweetness to it.
Huh.
So James knows meatballs because we serve quite a bit of them.
I don't make them, but I know the meatballs at least.
And the thing for me is like I love meatballs. I don't love spaghetti and meatballs. I don't mind it, but I like a meatball by itself. So we're gonna serve the meatballs with some polenta, just some simple cornmeal, and I have some milk going over here. And I'm gonna add a big pinch of salt to this milk.
Oh, more salt, huh?
Yeah.
So my 5 and 6-year-old love polenta. Like,
Who doesn't though?
yeah, I know, but like it's funny because they don't like rice and they don't like pasta, but they love polenta. It's so crazy.
Polenta over the last few years has become one of my favorite side dishes for everything. It's just wonderful.
It's so great. I mean, polenta's like cream of wheat. I ate cream of wheat as a kid growing up. And, you know, my mom would just put some brown sugar on it. But when you're doing polenta, it's just super simple. So the milk was hot.
Yeah.
And I'm using like just a really fine, it's a fine and coarse ground polenta. But this is just about done. Like it just needs to come up. But you can see it's like, it's almost there. It's gonna be a little, I want a little texture to it.
But it like thickens up pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
Like that was like just a minute, right? A couple
Yeah,
minutes?
so it's,
Yeah.
it goes super fast.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna let it simmer, just really low heat. And it's about a 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 parts milk to 1 part of polenta. I'm gonna add a little bit of water though, since it's thickened up. And I wanna keep it nice and thin for now, and I don't want it to clump. So just a little bit of water. Spill it all over when
Oh,
you
yeah.
do
You
it.
have to, right?
Super,
It's
yeah.
for the dog for later.
That's what I have Watson for. Watson's the Roomba.
That's actually what I have a 5 and 6-year-old for. Yeah.
They eat off the floor?
Yeah, they do. I'm a really good mom. No, but I will say my husband does not see things falling on the floor like I do or on the counter. I will say that. So just going to put that out there.
That's strange because my wife notices everything that falls on
Yes,
the floor.
exactly. No, I think that's on purpose. I think that's a woman thing that we notice everything.
Because men are insensitive.
I'm not saying anything right now, but yes. I might agree with you.
Frank left that there on purpose.
Right?
So for these meatballs, I'm using lamb because this is one of the things we do at Osteria Marco is we make a lamb meatball with a little bit of polenta. So I'm going to add my bread in here.
And only because I need very clear instructions because I'm an ER doctor and I don't do this for a living. Like how much bread was that?
So that was like
yeah.
5 slices of bread to
Okay.
about 1.25 pounds of meat.
Okay, and you cut off the crust, you said,
And I
right?
cut
Okay.
off the crust.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to put a little bit of chili flake in it.
And a lot of salt, if you didn't notice.
I did
Yeah,
put a
no,
lot
I
of
like
salt
that.
in it.
So
A little bit of oregano.
We'll have the high blood pressure, diabetes talk later.
But the
It's all
food will
good.
taste great. It'll be
Food
awesome.
will taste-
Yeah, that's all
My
that
blood
matters.
pressure was
Moderation.
great.
There you
last
go,
night.
It's all
yeah.
about moderation, right? Yeah.
It's dinner
And a
time,
good
right? Let's
That
give
is-
ourselves-
pinch of Parmesan cheese.
That was your pinch?
That's a pinch.
I love that pinch. Oh my gosh.
Especially with cheese. Give
Right.
me all the cheese. That's
Did you eat
that's
like a
good.
block of cheese last night for dinner?
Give or take.
Right? Okay, cool.
Then I'm just gonna dump my onions. So you can see when I say sweated, they're just like translucent.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add those to it.
Just a little bit of color there too, yeah.
Yep. So, and then I'm gonna just add 2 eggs to it. And the eggs really just help to bind as it's cooking.
Okay.
You see that technique? It costs them that
Even
alone,
with the
just
thing-
cracking
The
egg.
one
Yeah,
thing
right?
I can do is crack an egg with one hand. Yeah.
I can, but there's gonna be
And-
shells all through the
Yeah,
dish.
no,
so.
like I have actually, the only good things I've done as a mother, I've taught my kids how to do that as well. And make coffee in the morning.
Coffee. Do the
do
kids
that, right?
My
like coffee?
6-year-old makes me coffee in the morning. That is
that's
all.
awesome.
I have made it. I'm gonna mic drop and just like step away and never be, yeah, and just say I've done my job as a mom.
That sounds great. Coffee. Off she goes.
Exactly. Like, if you accomplish nothing else in your life, you can make coffee and crack an egg with one.
And crack an egg,
so,
yeah.
So I'm gonna add a little bit more Parmesan cheese to
Just a pinch
this.
though.
Yeah, that's a pinch. It's also kind of fun too. My 6-year-old wants to be a chef.
Oh,
Which is
discourage that with
Yeah,
all
no,
your
no,
heart
no.
and soul.
So yeah, no, he like literally wakes up in the morning and he tells me that he wants to make me breakfast and coffee. Right?
And coffee, there you go.
So yeah, I mean sometimes breakfast right now is like a bowl of cereal.
Get him a chef hat.
No, he has one. Like he loves it. Like he literally wants to be a chef. So he may be calling you.
If he loves a 14-hour workday, standing on his feet all day, making no money, it's perfect for
Okay,
it.
sweet. Sounds exciting. Yeah.
6 years old is the best time. That's the best age. Six
Yeah.
through about 14.
Yeah. Oh, and then what happens after 14?
You don't even want to know.
Okay, don't tell
You don't
me.
want to know what
No.
goes on in that bathroom.
Oh, jeez.
We're not cutting this, right?
Some of this is gonna be cut. Yeah.
This is pretty good. So now we're ready to just form them into the actual meatball.
Okay.
All right, see, in that pot there, you just got a little olive oil? Is that everything
Little
in there?
olive oil, and I'm gonna kind of brown these off.
So it browned really fast.
Yeah, they will brown really fast because there's, well, the milk, the bread, all of it kind of comes together pretty quickly.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to get a quick color on, that one's the last one in, so. And this just helps to like get them together, to solidify them. So when I put the tomato sauce on.
So you're not really like waiting for them to cook necessarily on the inside,
No,
right?
I'm
You're
gonna-
just getting the outside.
I'm just getting a little color on them, a little flavor. That caramelization of the meat really helps to get the flavor and intensify it. But I'm gonna cover these with tomato sauce.
So tell me a little bit more about the tomato sauce.
This is just tomato puree,
Yeah.
a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion sweated. That's
That's
it.
it?
Yep.
Okay.
This is like our base tomato sauce that we use in the restaurants.
Wait, that's it? Really?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
what I will do is finish it with like a little fresh basil and some
Yeah.
butter and some cheese.
Wow.
So I like to keep it very simple. So they're just San Marzano tomato puree, garlic, and onions. So James, you brought a cocktail. This is something you know is going to go really well with the polenta and the lamb meatballs. So what are you going to pour?
So I made a little bit of a variation on a bee's knees. So I did a mint-infused honey, lamb and mint, just classically go great together. Honey and polenta also. So I did a mint-infused honey with Leopold's new number 25 gin. There's a really nice citrus note to it, not as much as the summer gin, but really nice notes. And I just felt like it was perfect for the dish. So a bee's knees is gin, honey, lemon, very simple. But I put a little mint in there, and I think it came out really nice.
So how do you mint infuse something?
So I kept pretty simple with this one. Essentially, all I did was that I brought mint over heat at like a low heat, and I'm sorry, honey over low heat, and then I put the mint in there, and I let it just kind of simmer for 20 minutes or so until those mint leaves were wilting a little bit, losing their color. So actually, the honey has a little bit of a green quality to it, which is really nice. You're not going to see it in the cocktail itself.
Yeah.
But in the honey, it does have a little bit of a tint to it from the.
And then do you like
It's beautiful.
Like
and
to
then-
strain it at the end?
Yeah,
Is that
strain
right?
it all out to make
Okay.
sure it's clean. You know, no one wants to be drinking chunks of something in their drink. And then I got a couple little lemon wheels here for garnishes that I cut. But yeah, it's a variation on a bee's knees. And as a
thank
bartender, I've always used orange blossom water in everything. There's a couple drops of orange blossom water. I don't know. I think it gives a little bit of body, a little bit of flavor, floralness. I think it's really nice. So,
Cheers.
And it's
Cheers.
fancy.
and
It
it's
is-
fancy.
Dude, very fancy.
You gotta be fancy.
This is amazing.
I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah.
Holy cow.
So it's something I also think it's nice and light bodied that the cucumber salad could have gone really well with as well.
yeah. Again, it's so fresh.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels really light.
And I think a key component to any cocktail is to have fresh lemon juice, fresh lime juice, fresh citrus. When you're skipping on that, you're skipping on a lot of the flavor. So
I think our meatballs are just about done. So I'm going to finish off our polenta. And this is something you want to do right at the very end with your polenta. Is just going to add some butter, and that'll give it a little bit of richness.
why are we waiting till the end?
Because if you put it in too early, it'll break.
Yeah,
And I
cool.
don't want it to break and get oily and look oily.
Okay.
And then I have a little mascarpone cheese, which is like Italian cream cheese. I'm going to put just a spoonful or two of that in there.
So how thick is the polenta right now?
So right now, we're just above like soup level. Like,
Oh, got it. Okay. So that's why you added some additional water earlier.
yeah, I
right,
just want to
help-
keep it this consistency, and then the butter and the mascarpone will also thin it down.
Okay. Smells amazing.
It does.
And then finish it off with some Parmesan
A
cheese.
pinch?
Just a pinch.
A pinch of Parmesan?
Half pinch.
Yeah.
Half pinch. Like, you kind of want it to not stand up and be like, you want it to run. So when you put it in a plate, you'll see that it spreads out.
Yeah. But it's not too thin. Where it's
No,
like
you don't want
filling-
it to be too, it's just a fine line. I'm just gonna finish this off with a little bit of chopped basil, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and then
This looks outstanding.
just some extra virgin olive oil to finish it all off.
So what does that add to the flavor?
Just some richness, some fruitiness, a little acidity actually from it.
Okay.
And this is lamb meatballs with a little polenta
Wow. This
for you.
looks
So
phenomenal.
it did take a little while to make, but this is something, like almost everything can be made in advance. And then all you'd
Yeah.
have to do is just have all the meatballs and everything in a container, throw them in your pot, heat them up, and then make your polenta, which only took like 6 minutes. So to me, this is a great Sunday night meal or Friday night date night. I did bring a wine that I think goes really well with it. I think James knows this. It's an Amarone Valpolicella.
I could talk about it a little bit here for sure. Nice fig notes, a little bit of a nuttiness, like a walnut, and like just super dark cherries. Without tasting it, I can imagine this with the meatballs is going to be outstanding. It's going to be on the drier side.
You can kind of smell that, the nuttiness to it too.
Yeah, the flavor, you get figs right off the bat. Nice big old fig bite. The sweetness between the polenta, the lamb, the richness, everything's
wow.
going to be really
That is
great together.
really good.
Well done, Frank.
Well,
Yeah.
take a bite and let's see
Yeah.
what you think of the polenta.
Wow. Hard to make me speechless, but that is amazing.
Thank you very much. So
Wow.
the lamb isn't as prevalent as you would think, right? It
No,
kind of
not at
mellows
all.
out in it.
But what it is, one thing I know is very different is it's super tender. A lot of meatballs, they have a little bit more of a texture to it. This here just kind of
It's the bread.
Is that what
It's
it is?
the
It's
panada.
bread.
That's milk-soaked bread is what
Yeah.
really makes a great meatball. That's every grandmother's secret is the soaking the milk and the bread together.
And you got to soak it. That's the secret.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want to thank you for coming, and like this is the perfect thing, right? You're so busy and you saw that you can make this. It's a half hour really start to finish.
This is amazing and it's doable. I think that's the best part about it. It doesn't feel like something that I can't do just because I'm not a chef. Like I could do this as a mom who works.
And after a long night of work, I'd love to eat something like this. It sounds great.